You almost trick your brain. Simple, yet highly effective. I felt all of that pressure, all that mental clutter was just sitting inside my head, clinking around. As busy moms, we have so many things that we have to juggle every single day. Trying to find the time, trying to find the ability, trying to find the energy and the mental space and stamina can be such a challenge. In today's video, I'm going to share 5 of the best productivity tips on how to be more productive, how to feel more organized that I think make the biggest difference in my life. And if this is your first time ever seeing me, I'm Annie. I'm a mom of 5 kids, ages 5 months to 8 years old. I work full time in a corporate job, and I also own a website called Mom's First Steps. Balancing everything, juggling all the multiple balls in the air, trying to find time for all the kid logistics, school logistics, work logistics, feeding everyone, getting everyone clothed, plus working on my own personal projects outside of both family and work means that I have to be super productive. And now let's dive right into 5 really impactful productivity tips that I use every day as a busy mom. Number 1 is one you may not have heard before, and that is to text yourself before bed. Yes, I know that sounds a little bit weird, but what I do simply is I text myself a list of maybe there's 4 or 5 things that are on my mind that are taking up my thoughts. I text myself that list before I go to bed and I hit send. And then I put my phone down and I go to sleep. I have a really busy day. I'm with the kids, I'm working. And by the time I get to bed at night, my mind is still spinning. It's spinning with all the logistics that I have to think about for the next morning, for the next day. What's everyone's work and school schedule? Who has soccer practice tomorrow night? Making sure that we pack the cold lunch for one of my kids because she has a field trip. The list goes on, and it's honestly endless. And not only is my head spinning, but it actually was also impacting my sleep at night. Because I was thinking of these things and subconsciously I was very worried about forgetting something important, I felt all of that pressure to remember everything. And all that mental clutter was just sitting inside my head, clinking around and preventing me from falling asleep, which obviously it's hard enough to be a busy mom. It's even harder if you're not getting enough sleep. So this productivity tip is something that I found both helped me stay more organized, but also remove that mental clutter so that I could go to sleep knowing that I had my list of things that I needed to be focused on in the morning. And I wasn't going to forget anything. It was all right there for me. Simple, yet highly effective. It's incredible how much of a difference that made for me. So next time you feel like you are laying down to bed, your mind's spinning with all the things that you need to do the next day or this week, simply make a little list for yourself and text it to yourself and see if that doesn't make a difference. Because let's be honest, you're not actually going to do any of those things at night anyways, right? So why sit there and spin on them and worry about them? Text yourself the list, put your phone down, and get some much needed sleep because you deserve it. Productivity tip number 2, and this is something that has grown on me so much, especially the last couple of years. Order your groceries for either delivery, ideally, or pickup. It seems so simple, and yet it is such an expert strategy for so many reasons. Number 1, it saves money because you're not doing all those impulse grocery purchases on things you don't need or things that, you're buying because it sounds good or you like the idea of making that dish, but in reality, you don't even have the other ingredients anyways because you haven't planned ahead. It reduces food waste if you stick to a list because you ordered or pick up your groceries. That really helps with that. Additionally, this tip saves so much time. And your time as a busy mom is so valuable. You already don't have enough of it. Why would you waste that time packing the kids up, driving to the grocery store, getting everybody out of the car seats, putting out at least a tantrum or two, maybe more, having to pick up dropped shoes or toys the entire time you're doing groceries, and then get all your food? It takes a lot of time, right? And sometimes you don't realize how much that time adds up. Ordering groceries takes all that time away. You just spend a few minutes instead looking at your list, adding a couple things. You can have a standard template each week. It works beautifully. Another reason why I love doing this is because it avoids me having to traipse 5 kids into the grocery store. Because let me tell you, that is an adventure in itself. And when I don't have to do that, I don't have to keep track of everyone, make sure nobody's darting in front of cars in the parking lot. Everybody doesn't have to be contained in the shopping cart. I don't have kids who are misbehaving in the store. So much added time and stress can be saved by simply ordering your groceries for delivery or pickup. This is something that my husband and I do every single week. Highly recommend if you haven't done this yet, order your groceries. Productivity tip number 3, this concept of habit stacking. Now, if you haven't heard the term habit stacking before, it originally was, there were some productivity books that were released on it. I'll link the book down below that I'm thinking of. Atomic Habits by James Clear is another productivity book that talks about habit stacking, though it didn't originate in that book. One of my very favorite books of all time. Habit stacking is basically this concept of if there's something that you're already doing every day, attach another habit to it. You essentially stack different things on together. For example, every morning I make coffee because, let's be honest, I need it. So coffee has to be made every morning. The dishwasher has to be unloaded, and I have to make breakfast for the kids. So what I've done is I've started stacking those habits. So I literally walk over, I start the grinder on the coffee machine. That is my cue to open up the dishwasher, pull out the bowl that I'm going to use to make my kids oatmeal. I get the oatmeal started. I put it in the microwave, shut the microwave and start that. I've got the coffee grinder started. I've got the microwave started, got the dishwasher open. I now go and unload the dishwasher. And while I'm doing that, I'm still finishing up the coffee and I'm making breakfast. So all these different things are getting tackled right at the same time. And they're stacked on top of each other so that I know that when I start the coffee grinder, it's my cue to unload the dishwasher and to cook the kids' breakfast. All these things can work together and it makes everything go smoothly. It makes you more productive. It helps you just stay in motion, right? I think that's one of the hardest part is to start the motion. Stacking these little habits together can make such a difference throughout the day and just getting those things done that you know you need to get done as part of your morning routine or your evening routine or your nighttime routine. It helps things go smoothly for you. It helps make the chaos of the everyday seem somewhat more routine and organized and making sure that you're attacking those critical things that you need to get done every day. Habit stacking is also a really good way to incorporate something new into your routine. For example, let's say that you want to work out more. A way to stack that habit is to stack a workout in with some other things that you're already doing throughout the day so that it just becomes part of your routine. You almost trick your brain to get into that motion, into that mindset, and just go through your process. It's awesome. I love habit stacking and I love thinking about how to harness the power to be more productive in my life. So your homework is to pause the video and write the word habit stacking and then think of a couple of different habits that you currently do. And if there's a way that you could stack them to do more and be more productive. Productivity tip number 4, expect more from your kids. This is something that I am so passionate about. The reality is that our kids are capable of way more than we give them credit for sometimes. I want to give you a couple of examples. I was astonished to find out 2 summers ago now that my oldest, who at that time was 6 years old, could completely make her own lunch. She was going to summer camp and every day she had to bring cold lunch. And I had started out the summer like, oh my God, I missed the hot lunch days of the school year because I don't have time to cook 5 lunches every day. But I was astonished that my 6-year-old knew how to make her own lunch. And as I think about it, yeah, I cook with them quite a bit on weekends and like I try to teach them important life skills, but my 6-year-old could go from start to finish and make her own lunch. She could get out her own bread for sandwich, her own cheese, her own meat. She knew where our ready to go vegetables are. She could get her own fruit. Like she literally could put together her own lunch. She knew where the string cheese was in the fridge. And that was the moment I realized, really interesting. So I put her in charge of packing lunches for her and her sister, who were the 2 at day camp at the time. So flash forward 2 years later, my 3 girls, so their ages 8, 7, and 5, know that if they want to bring cold lunch to school, they need to make their own lunch in the morning. It's as simple as that. That's an example of a task that I did not think that at the time my 6-year-old was capable of doing on her own. She's absolutely capable. Another area where I've really asked my kids to help out are helping out with laundry. And as they've grown up, I've gotten all of them involved with laundry, even things as simple as sorting socks from about age 3 or so years old. I even have my 2-year-old boy sometimes take the kids' socks and put them away. Simple little things, getting them in the habit of helping out around the house and giving you a little bit of help. Now, of course, sometimes the help isn't that helpful right away, but over time, as your kids get older, it will just be so normal to them that when there's a load of laundry to be folded, they help out. When there's a cold lunch to be made, they get to make it. When there's toys all over the floor, they're in charge of cleaning it up. When there's a younger sibling's plate of food to be brought to the kitchen table, they can bring it. So think about your kids. It's good for them to learn important life skills that will help teach them autonomy, that will teach them leadership skills, that will teach them teamwork and collaboration. It's also really helpful for you as the mom to get some help from older siblings. And it's really great for creating this culture of everyone helps out around the house within your family. In my case, it's an absolute necessity with having 5 kids and 2 working parents. And productivity tip number 5, this is a really good one. I never go to bed with a messy kitchen and living area because if I do, it absolutely clutters my mind and it ruins my day the next day. And I know that sounds a little bit dramatic, but it has made such a difference for me to wake up every single morning with a clean kitchen. It makes my next day more productive. It's one of those things where you think back, you think about, do I really want to get up off the couch and tidy up the kitchen and wipe off all the counters and sweep the floor and everything at 9:30 p.m.? No, I objectively don't want to do that. But my tomorrow self will be so happy and so much more productive and so much less cluttered and less stressed if she wakes up to a clean kitchen and living room. And so there we go. We're going to do it. It's an example of one of those things. You just have to think about your future self and do the things now that your future self will appreciate. And thankfully, in this case, you don't have to wait that long. Tidy your kitchen every single night, clean up your kitchen, clean up your living area. For me, those are my two most important rooms. I have a little bit higher tolerance for clutter of some other rooms in the house, but for me, those two are like the most important. That might be a little different for you. Maybe it's your bedroom, maybe it's your bath, whatever, right? Whatever. Make this your own, but highly recommend having some sort of a evening reset to help make sure that you are going into the next day having a clean, organized home that sets the groundwork for you to be productive the next day and also happier because it's important to enjoy life too. And that's what it's all about. I hope you got at least a couple of great ideas from this video. My challenge to you is this: take something that you heard in the video today and implement it in your own life. It's great to listen to people on YouTube, but the importance is the action. So take an action, do something a little bit differently based on what you heard today, or don't even take my tips, but if you thought of something new while you were watching this video, then go do that. I'm wishing you your happiest, your best, your most productive life. And if videos about motherhood, productivity, balancing work and life, everything like that is your thing, I talk a lot about that here on my channel. I would really appreciate it if you'd like this video and subscribe. And if there's anything that you want to hear about in a future video, please let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for ideas for all of you. That's all for today. I'll see you in the next video.